2020 City Council meeting. Pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order number N2920, this meeting is being held by teleconference using the GoToWebinar program. This meeting is being broadcast live on Channel 3, Chino Channel 3, and online at www.cityofchino.org/agendas by selecting the live stream bar located at the top of the screen. The public is encouraged to participate and submit public comments by either sending an email to cityclerk@cityofchino.org or joining the webinar to provide a live comment. The link to join the webinar is available on the agenda and the calendar website. If you join the webinar and would like to provide public comment, please select the raise your hand icon and staff will unmute your line at the appropriate time. Angela, our city clerk, will you please conduct a voice roll call?
Thank you, Mayor. First, Councilmember Hargrove.
Oh, Hargrove's here.
Councilmember Lucio.
Councilman Lucio's here.
Okay, thanks.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Councilmember Rodriguez here.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie.
Yes, I'm here.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes, present.
Thank you,
Next
Mayor.
on
We have
our
a quorum.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Next on our agenda is the flag salute. If you would all stand, place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it
Stand.
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Manager Valentine, do we have any agenda additions or revisions?
Yes, Mayor, this is Matt. I just want to bring to your attention that item number 12 as it pertains to our CDBG programming. We're requesting a continuance. We did notice this in the paper, and so we do welcome public comment. But as part of the stimulus program, we received some additional CDBG money, which we want to program and include that in a future update. We plan on bringing this back in June. So when you get to item number 12, we request that, again, if we have any public comment, we welcome those comments. Otherwise, we request that this item be continued. That's it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Matt. I would remind all of our panelists, if you are not up to speak, please mute your microphones because we're getting some feedback. Okay. In our agenda is the information item, which is the Economic Development Report for March 2020. It's available for all those to read. Under public announcements, before we jump into tonight's meeting, I want to take this time and thank our entire community for their patience and kindness during these very difficult times. During this crisis, the state of California, along with local agencies, have asked folks to stay inside, alter daily routines to ensure we can flatten the curve and help alleviate our overwhelmed medical personnel and facilities. I understand this has been a major disruption to everyone's lives. It has undoubtedly brought on hardships that have been seemingly been out of everyone's control. Nevertheless, because of your sacrifice, we will get through this crisis and things will get better. In the meantime, our resilient community will continue to care and support one another until we can get back to normalcy. I ask that you please continue to give us your patience and kindness that you have shown us through this entire crisis just a little longer. The council, myself, and city staff have developed plans to get Chino back up and running in a phased approach. So we're almost there. We just need your support a little longer. Also, I want to thank our frontline workers throughout the Chino community, the Chino Police Department, the Chino Valley Independent Fire District, and all of our medical workers. While we're doing our part to help flatten the curve, you have consistently placed yourself at great risk for all of us. We thank you so much for your sacrifice and care that you have given this community. And finally, Calvary Chapel, Chino Valley is hosting an online service of the National Day of Prayer for the city of Chino on Thursday, May 7th at 12 o'clock noon. Local Chino pastors will introduce a topic, pray, and then allow the viewers a few moments to join in prayer for each topic. You can join us in praying for those affected by COVID-19, those serving during the crisis, our government, the education system, the family, and the church by streaming calvaryccg.org or Calvary Chapel Chino Valley YouTube or the CCCV Facebook page. Okay, we have a special guest with us this evening. We have County Supervisor Kurt Hagman, who's going to give us an update. Kurt?
Good evening, Mayor and the council members. It's great to be back. I just wanted to kind of touch base. Obviously, there's a lot going on with COVID and the different governor's orders each day, and we want to let you know kind of a brief update and answer any questions you may have. Currently, as of this morning, we have 2,329 reported COVID-19 cases in San Bernardino County, and unfortunately, we hit the 101 mark of residents who passed away. We have tested close to 23,000, and that's kind of like the highlight the last 2 weeks is we're really got our testing ramped up. So there's Monday through Friday, we have at least 2 or 3 sites within the county that's opened up for a much more extended group. And as you know, your city hosted a testing site not too long ago, and we plan to be back in Chino Valley again very shortly. We have done let me just say this as one that's trying to lead the charge of doing the right thing in the county. Our residents have done a phenomenal job of being and trying to practice safe COVID protocols. That's the mask on their face that when they go outdoors, keeping their 6 feet distance and use their hygiene. And because of that, we have been flat for the last 2 or 3 weeks of cases in the hospital, and we're really looking good at our numbers. What that means to our residents right now is that we're able to, as of Friday, start to open up phase 2, which is low risk businesses within the county with protocols. And the mayor and the council and the city of Chino, as well as the other cities, have been working with the county to come up with a playbook, what I like to call it. And it's a multi-page document that kind of lists the best practices for different types of industries to open up safely for our residents to go use. On Friday last week, we announced a COVID compliance business campaign. And if we remember what the little A and B ratings in restaurants look like when we go eat, this is a placard that goes in the business window that says, we're open for business. We're doing so in the safe way to protect our residents, our employees. And we unveiled that on Friday. And what that really wants us to do is, it's a program that we're putting together, the county using COVID funds to help incentivize business to do the right thing by putting $30 million behind that. So the businesses like we see in our stores and stuff throughout the community can provide protection for their employees, put the little plastic screen between the checkout person and the customer, little X's on the ground, really pragmatic measures to try to keep us safe, like we've been doing with the essential businesses that have been open for now, non-essential businesses going forward. And I'm hopeful that Friday we plan to submit a letter to the governor saying that not only are we ready to open up phase 2, but we're ready to open up phase 3 with this playbooks. We're working very diligently to get that done and submitted with a cover letter from us with our cities that will go to the governor on Friday to say we're ready to open up more than just the low risk, but the medium risk on certain conditions, and here's our playbook to do that. Doesn't mean we're opening up everything on Friday, but I think that the governor has faith in us. He's communicated that we're one of the counties that we're doing things the right way to give us local autonomy and control to start to put those plans into action. So it's exciting for us to be able to start to open up and to let our residents go back to work, to let our businesses get back and start making money again. But I will caution that we still need to do the right thing going forward by wearing the face mask outside when you're meeting with other people, to wash our hands or use sanitizer, and to keep our 6 feet distance whenever possible going forward. A lot of details will come out the next few days as the governor unveils more of his structure that we have to work in, but we're prepared. The county's been putting together and working with the business community for the last 3 weeks, getting the best practices, putting them on paper, and seeing what's pragmatic and what can work. And we still want to caution our vulnerable population that even though we may open sectors of the county and the economy, that if you're at high risk, if at all possible, stay at home too and take care of yourself and your family members. This evil disease has taken too many tolls on too many people in this country, and we want to make sure we minimize that as best as possible. There's also a program with the seniors right now that if you're over 65 and that you're 600% below poverty, which is quite a few, and not receiving other federal assistance somewhere, that you're eligible for 3 meals a day being delivered for at least, it was supposed to be until May 10th. I think it's been extended to June 15th at this point, and counties participating in that with the matching funds. So there's details on that, an adult and aging services website, or the county website, and an adult and aging services who qualifies, how to apply. And that's a nice touch. Again, for our vulnerable population, we want to make sure that we're trying to do everything to support them from catching this disease and getting ill. But our numbers look real good. The hospital is about 35% capacity at the county level. I mean, across the board of all the hospitals, where our numbers been flat for 2 or 3 weeks. Our testing is way above the 5% of the population of California that we needed to be at. And we're doing things right to have a nice phase in reopening starting this week, and looking forward to letting people go back to work, really.
That's really good news, Kurt. And I was on the conference call this afternoon with the other mayors and yourself. It sounds very encouraging, and I know a lot of businesses in our area, and especially our residents, are really looking forward to having us back in business again.
Yeah, and thank you for all your support, Mayor. You've been a great partner with us at the county, and I did mention that we're putting financial assistance behind the COVID compliant campaign. What that means is once you meet the criteria, we're going to give you a check and help you defray some of the cost of what you may have to do to your business to get open and do so safely. And we want to support you all the way in that regards. So we want to thank everyone being patient and working with us. It's been hard. I know people are frustrated. People are losing their jobs, their businesses. They want to get out. The county's going to continue to open up different county facilities, such as our park and our parks even more, and work on that. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to ease this burden that we've been putting on our residents going forward.
Great. We appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing the good news on Friday.
Sounds good. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any more, but otherwise, thank you for being a great partner and doing such a great job at the City of Chino.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, Kurt, I'll ask the council members now if they have any questions. Mayor Pro Tem Howie, do you have any questions of Supervisor Hagman?
No, I don't have any questions, but I think Kurt's done a great job of keeping everybody informed and taking the lead for the county. I really appreciate it. I know our residents do too.
Thanks, Tom.
Councilman Hargrove?
No questions. Thanks, Kurt.
Councilman Lucio?
No questions.
Okay, Councilman Rodriguez?
No questions. I want to thank Kurt for all the information, emails that I've been receiving. We all have been receiving. Good job, Kurt.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Okay, thank you very much, Kurt, and stay safe.
You all do too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next on our agenda is public comments. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the council about subjects that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. Due to council policy and Brown Act requirements, action will not be taken on any issues not on the agenda. Ordinance number 97-08 from the Chino Municipal Code section 2.04-090 limits speakers to no more than 5 minutes in which to address the council, except as provided by under Government Code 54954.3B2. As stated earlier, all members of the public that have registered for the webinar and are interested in providing verbal testimony, please click on the raise your hand icon. Otherwise, please email staff at cityclerk@cityofchino.org. We have one request to speak, and that's Pastor Paul Lehman Shaletowitz of the Gateway Cairns Church. At this time, anyone that would like to join us with the invocation is welcome to do so. Pastor Paul?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. You know, it's a genuine privilege to be in the city with you all, our city council, caring for our city. Just want to extend genuine appreciation to you all. Let's pray. Father, as people consider our own mortality and our fear, as we consider freedom and the limitations of human wisdom and dividing things rightly, we ask that you would empower the people of Chino and this city council to live fearlessly, to love our neighbors freely, forgive others recklessly, and live for you truly. We ask that your Holy Spirit will convict the worldly of need, the self-assured of immorality, the humanly wise of human frailty, and the self-justified of self-deception. Come and upend our world beyond spacing and masks and alternatives to handshakes, and bring us to our knees where we all meet Jesus. Lord Jesus, we ask that you would have mercy. Have mercy upon us all. Extend your divine mercy to our world, our country, our state, our city council, our neighbors, our families, and to each of us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much. Angela, do we have any members of the public that have submitted electronic comments?
No emails, Mayor.
Okay, and Jack, do we have any other members of the public that would like to speak under public comments?
No, Mayor, no one has indicated they want to speak under public comment.
Okay, then the next item on our agenda is the consent calendar. At this time, members of the public may present testimony as to why an item should be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion. Unless a member of the public or city council requests that an item be removed from the consent calendar, all items will be acted on as a whole and by one vote. Angela, do we have any members of the public that have submitted electronic comments on the consent calendar?
No, Mayor, but I apologize. We do have someone under public comment that wishes to speak. May we go ahead and allow them to speak now? I believe it is Zeb Wellborn from the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, absolutely. Zeb?
Hi, Madam Mayor. Hi, City Council.
Hi, Zeb.
You might hear my kids in the background. They are here right next to me, so sorry about that. I want to give some updates about the chamber and about some of the things that we've been involved in, and just give an update on our businesses as well. I want to highlight our Chino Valley Leaders webinar on the coronavirus every week at Tuesday from 8:30 to 9:30. We have leaders from across the Chino Valley that give updates on how their organizations are addressing the coronavirus and giving the most up-to-date information. I want to thank Supervisor Kurt Hagman for he's attended every single one that we've had so far, him or one of his staff. This morning we had Congressman Torres. Every week we also have a representative or Congressman Cisneros. And then we have had participation from all of our state senators and state assembly members. In addition to people who lead in different areas, we've had people talking about the health issues that brought up by it, and all sorts of other education, all sorts of other different areas. So it's really valuable insights about what is currently happening when it comes to the coronavirus. That's every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9:30. Yesterday, I mean, Kurt talked about it. The big push for businesses is how do we open when the signal is given to open? How do we open? How do we do it safely? And how do we protect everybody for the future? And so it sounds like the County of San Bernardino has a great plan. We are definitely going to be helping our businesses develop that. Yesterday, we sent out a survey asking our Chino Valley businesses how they want to, just asking for input from them about how they are handling this, what they need assistance with. And those are the things that we're sharing with our legislators and community at large to make sure that our businesses are prepared when they do open it to open it up safely with all the proper protocols and procedures in place. We are also probably one thing that we are working on, which is kind of not coronavirus related, is we're doing a Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce pitch competition. One of the things that I was born and raised in the Chino Valley, and there isn't anything to my knowledge that has been devoted towards entrepreneurism in our area. So that's one of the things we've been working on since I became the president of the chamber is how do we create an event that promotes entrepreneurship amongst our youth in our area. So in collaboration with Christina Gagne from the Chino Valley School Board, Chino Valley Unified School District, the board member, we've been working on a plan to do just that. So we're doing it's a pitch competition. So you imagine it's like a Shark Tank type event. We had submissions. We've already secured those submissions. We have 5 finalists and we have $5,000 that we're going to be distributing amongst those. So they're going to pitch their product or their service. We're going to have judges that are going to evaluate it and give them feedback. And we're going to do this in a live event virtually on Thursday, May 14th. So we're looking for businesses who want to partner in that. If you have a heart for entrepreneurism or you want to get involved, that's a great way to do it in terms of promoting business and in our community. Another thing that those funds are going to go towards is we've also been working on trying to develop programs for job shadowing so that our students have pathways into careers here locally to connect them with businesses and internship opportunities. So we've been working closely with Chino Valley Unified School District teachers and them to try and figure out a way that we can help spur our economy, bringing the youth into connection with our business community. So that's really something we're working on. So if that's something that is of interest to you, or you know somebody who would be interested in that, please forward my contact information onto them. The last thing I'll probably bring up is that we started a video project where we're interviewing businesses about in a variety of different things, how the coronavirus has impacted them, how the chamber has supported their business, how they can educate business owners on doing something, how they've done something beneficial for the community at large. And then also some of them are just kind of highlights on how they got their business started and why they're doing it. So we recorded 4 of those so far. We have another 6 or so lined up. So those are for our chamber members that we're really trying to highlight businesses and let our community know what these businesses are doing. So just as an example, one of the ones we interviewed, which is up on our YouTube channel, was Dr. Tran from Inland Family Optometry. Because of the information we put out there was a grant opportunity for $5,000 from the U.S. Chamber. She applied immediately and got it. So that's one of the things that we've been doing to help our members is we're giving information through our website, through the emails that we're sending out about how to secure funds to help continue the businesses in the Chino Valley. So I know for sure we have several other examples of that too. So if you're looking for information about the coronavirus or anything like that, definitely encourage you to sign up for the chamber email and check our website regularly as we update it once every other day. So thank you.
Zeb, you've done a fantastic job with the chamber. I'm so very proud of what our chamber is doing now. Fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay, back to the consent calendar. Again, Angela, do we have any members of the public that have submitted electronic comments?
No emails were received, Mayor.
Okay, and Jack, do we have any members of the public that would like to speak on any consent calendar items?
No, Mayor, no one has indicated they'd like to speak on any of the consent calendar items.
Okay, would any council members like to pull any items on the consent calendar? Mayor Pro Tem Howie?
No, not for me.
Okay, Councilman Hargrove?
None, thanks.
Councilman Lucio?
I don't have any.
Councilman Rodriguez?
I don't have any.
Okay, then I would ask for a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar.
Motion to move.
Hargrove seconds.
From Okay. Councilman Lucio, motion. Councilman Hargrove, second. Angela, would you please do a voice roll call?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Hargrove,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
That's a yes for me.
Mayor Ulloa,
Yes. Okay, the item passes 5-0. Next on the agenda is public hearing. Prior to the vote of the City Council, any member of the audience that is registered for the webinar and would like to provide verbal testimony on any items listed under public hearings are asked to now locate and select the raise your hand icon. Otherwise, please email staff at cityclerk@cityofchino.org. Council requests that it's not required that you state your name and address prior to making any remarks. Next item on the agenda is item number 12, Community Development Block Grant Program, 5 years, 2020 to 2025, Consolidated Plan, Analysis of Impediments to Fair Housing Choice, and 2020 to 2021 One-Year Action Plan. I'd like to declare the public hearing open and ask if, Angela, have we had any members of the public submit electronic comments?
No, Mayor, there are no electronic comments.
Jack, are there any individuals indicating they wish to speak on this item?
No, Mayor, no one has indicated they would like to speak on this item.
Okay, this item is going to be continued to a future meeting as stated by City Manager Ballantyne. I would ask for a motion and a second then to continue this meeting to a future, or this item to a future meeting.
I'd like to make a
If I
motion.
may, Madam Mayor, just for clarification, this is Fred Galante. The public hearing will remain open to the date designated for the continued public hearing. I believe that was June 9th. Is that correct?
Okay.
This is Matt. We haven't set an actual date on that. It's either but it'll be in the month of June.
Oh, okay. If we don't have the date certain, then we will have to renotice the public hearing. So
We do plan on renoticing it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then there's
Okay,
no
then-
need to keep the hearing open.
Okay, then do you suggest that I go ahead and close the public hearing then?
Yes, you can close the public hearing. It'll be renoticed.
Okay, then we will close the public hearing, and I again request a motion and a second.
This is Tom. I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion from Mayor Pro Tem Howie and a second.
Mark Lucio seconds.
Okay, and a second from Councilman Lucio. Angela, do roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Hargrove,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa,
Yes, the item passes unanimously. Okay, under new business, item number 13, contract amendment, RHA Landscape Architects and Planners Incorporated. This item is to approve a contract amendment to RHA Landscape Architect Planners Incorporated, Riverside, California, in the amount of $93,120 for landscape architectural services for a total contract amount of $343,120. Prior to staff making a report, I'd like to ask if there are any I would request that any members of the public please register for the webinar and indicate whether you would like to speak on this item or not, or email staff at cityclerk@cityofchino.org. Our staff reports this evening will be provided by Carolyn Balzer, our projects manager.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the council. In October 2019, a request for proposals was published on Planet Bids for on-call landscape architectural services for designing and constructing capital improvement projects and park and facility improvements for existing facilities. RHA Landscape Architects and Planners Incorporated of Riverside, California was one of the firms selected for design services. One of the projects to be completed is the Ayala Park Improvements Project. The scope of work will include accessibility improvements throughout the park. An accessibility survey for Ayala Park was conducted in July of 2019 to ensure compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act standards. Due to the size of the park, the project will be separated into 10 separate phases. The first phase, Phase 1A, will include accessibility improvements to the northwest parking lot and adjacent walkways, north picnic pavilion, drinking fountain, and path of travel to baseball fields 5 and 6 from the north. Phase 1A is being completed first to satisfy a settlement agreement to provide accessibility improvements to the northwest parking lot and to coincide with the completion of baseball fields 5 and 6. Staff received a proposal in the amount of $93,120 for the proposed work. The current contract awarded to RHA Landscape Architects and Planners Incorporated is $250,000, bringing the total contract to $343,120. Staff is requesting City Council approval for the contract amendment in the amount of $93,120. The City Attorney's Office has reviewed all the documents and found them to be in order. This concludes my report, and I would be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Angela, do we have any written comments on this item?
No, Mayor, we do not.
Jack, do we have any indication of speakers interested in addressing this item?
No, Mayor, no one has indicated they would like to speak on this item.
Okay, thank you. Next is Councilmember Comments. Mayor Pro Tem Howie, do you have any comments on this item?
I have no comments.
Okay, Councilman Hargrove,
No comments.
Councilman Lucio,
No comments.
Councilman Rodriguez.
No comments.
Okay, then I would now entertain a motion and a second, please. Is there a motion approved?
Hargrove make a motion approved. It's Mark Lucio seconds.
Okay. Councilman Hargrove is motioner and Councilman Lucio presented as a second. Angela, would you please do a roll call vote?
Councilmember Hargrove,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa,
Yes. Okay, the item does pass unanimously. Item number 14, approval of bond documents for special tax bonds for Community Facilities District number 2003-3, 1A7. This is to adopt Resolution 2020-020 of the City Council of the City of Chino as the legislative body for Community Facility District number 2003-3, Improvement Area number 7, excuse me, of the City of Chino, also called the district, approving the issuance of the bonds and the substantially final forms of the preliminary official statement, fiscal agent agreement, bond purchase agreement, continuing disclosure agreement, and appraisal report, collectively the bond documents. Prior to requesting a staff report, again, any members of the public that have registered for the webinar, would you please provide verbal testimony and wish to provide verbal testimony on this item? Please now locate and select the raise your hand icon. Otherwise, please email staff at cityclerk@cityofchino.org. Staff reports this evening will be provided by our Director of Finance, Rob Burns.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight, we're seeking approval of two things. First is the substantially final forms of the documents for this bond issuance. This is Improvement Area 7 of CFD 2003-3. It's located out in the preserve. The CFD was formed in 2015, and we're now ready to issue bonds. Enough homes have been built in the improvement area to allow for the issuance of bonds. And we're anticipating issuing bonds later this month for approximately $21 million, excuse me. And then secondarily, we want to approve the contract between the city and our bond counsel, who is Stradling, Yoka, Carlson, and Roth, in the amount of $75,000. The bond counsel provides legal services for the bonds, as well as drafting the preliminary official statement. And the payment for their services are paid with bond proceeds once the bonds are issued. So with that, we ask you to approve Resolution 2020-020, as well as the agreement between the city and bond council. That concludes my report, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much, Rob. Angela, do we have any written comments from the public?
No, we do not, Mayor.
Jack, do we have anyone interested in speaking on this item?
No, Mayor, no one has indicated they'd like to speak on this item.
Okay, next council member comments. Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
I don't have any comments.
Councilman Hargrove,
No comments.
Councilman Lucio,
No comments.
Councilman Rodriguez.
No comments.
Okay, then I would call for a motion and a second, please.
I'd like to make a motion, this is Tom.
Okay, motion.
I'd like to
and
second. This is Mark.
Which Mark?
Mark Lucio.
Okay, Councilman Lucio is the second. Angela, please roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Hargrove,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes. Item passes unanimously. Item number 15, award professional services agreement, master plan of drainage update in the preserve. This is to award professional services agreement to Proactive Engineering Consultants Incorporated, doing business as Q3 Consulting, Foothill Ranch, California, in the amount of $500,000 for the master plan of drainage update in the preserve. Prior to asking staff to issue a report, I'd like to remind the public once again, those who have registered for the webinar, would you please provide, if you wish to provide verbal testimony, please now indicate by raising your hand, pushing on the little icon. Otherwise, please email staff at cityofclerk@cityofchino.org. Staff report this evening will be provided by David Hammer, our civil engineering manager. David?
Good evening. Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Yola and council members. Tonight, we bring before you a request to enter into a professional services agreement for updating the city master plan of drainage. The citywide master plan of drainage was approved in November 1993. Sub-Area 2 master plan of drainage for the preserve was adopted in 2003. Since adoption, modifications to drainage areas and pipe sizing have been done as development occurred and as capital projects has completed and reflected changes to existing local and regional drainage conditions. Due to these changes and also to the age of the underlying document, the Development Services Department Engineering Division solicited proposals for civil engineering firms to provide technical expertise for the Sub-Area 2 Master Plan of Drainage Update in the preserve. The Master Plan Drainage Update will accomplish 4 main goals as follows. Number 1, Line I of the master plan is a proposed double box storm drain in Euclid Avenue that begins in Ontario north of Merrill Avenue and terminates south of Pine Avenue. Line I is becoming increasingly important as proposed development in both Ontario and Chino will increase flooding potential along the Euclid Avenue corridor. This update will include 50% complete plans and profile construction documents together with a hydrology study, which will be used to establish reliable costs for the project. In addition to identifying major obstacles and setting the alignment of the pipe, this work is intended to be the basis of a cost-sharing agreement with the City of Ontario for the design and construction of Line I. Goal number 2, Line H of the master plan of drainage is a proposed master plan storm drain located in future Mayhew Avenue. Like Line I, it will terminate south of Pine Avenue. The properties south of Pine are owned primarily by Orange County Flood Control District and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and have further encumbrances by stockholders such as the County of San Bernardino for the regional park and SCE for transmission lines. The master plan update will study alignments of both Line H and Line I south of Pine Avenue. This study will be the basis of negotiations with the stockholders with the goal of obtaining easement rights for the storm drains. Goal number 3, the progression of development in the preserve in recent years, particularly in areas south of Pine Avenue, has require detailed studies and construction drawings from multiple parties that provide a clear vision of storm drain needs. This master plan of drainage update will review the information now available to us and provide one comprehensive document. The update will include a reevaluation of the anticipated storm drain costs within the preserve, and this will be used for recommended changes to the preserve storm drain diff program if needed. And lastly, our goal is to update our GIS database similar to the database update that's being done by the water master plan currently underway. The GIS database is a valuable resource for infrastructure planning and maintenance functions. On December 23rd, 2019, the city formally released a request for proposals, which was published on Planet Bids. On January 28th of this year, the city received 3 proposals. Interviews with the 3 consulting firms were then conducted on February 25th of this year. Consistent with the state of California Government Code Section 4526 and the city's purchasing ordinance, Chapter 3.32, the competing consulting firms were evaluated based on key staff knowledge, experience, availability, technical ability, firms' references, cost, and understanding the scope of work and work plan. Therefore, it is staff's recommendation to the City Council to award a professional services agreement to Proactive Engineering Consultants doing business as Q3 Consulting in the amount of $500,000 for the Preserve Master Plan of Drainage update. The initial term of the agreement is May 5th, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, with the option to extend 2 additional 1 fiscal year periods. This completes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much, David. Angela, do we have any written comments for this item?
No, Mayor, there are no written comments.
Jack, do we have anyone interested in speaking on this item?
No, Mayor, no one has indicated that they would like to speak on this item.
Okay, next I'm going to request any comments from council members. Mayor Pro Tem Howie?
Yeah, just that proper drainage in the preserve is so important that I think this is really important that we get this right. And I'm looking forward to it. That's all I have.
Okay, Councilman Hargrove?
No comments.
Councilman Lucio?
No comments.
Councilman Rodriguez?
No comments.
Yeah, I do have a question, David. Some time ago, a couple winters ago, we had a horrible problem on Kimball where the city had to step in and do kind of a makeshift fix on the area east of Euclid, east of McBride's there where it flooded so terribly. And the county was supposed to come in and complete that. What is the status of that project?
So there are several issues ongoing in that area. The first, what I'd like to speak to is a significant industrial development that's going to be constructed between Kimball Avenue and Bickmore Avenue. And this development straddles Mayhew, both on the west side and the east side. And that development will be installing a portion of the Line H master plan. Its segment includes up to a 90-inch diameter storm drain that will extend almost all the way to Kimball Avenue. In fact, parts of it will pick up local drainage on Kimball Avenue. It'll also provide a convenient location for the county to discharge their flow. So that master plan will come up within a couple hundred feet of Kimball Avenue into an existing basin that we believe needs to be deeper. And that deeper basin will give the county greater opportunity. We'd like to see more movement on the county's part, but we have been working with them and they've gone through some preliminary design efforts. We expect to see more formal construction drawings in the near future.
Okay, well, I think it's really important that the county step up and complete that. I believe it was maybe a box culvert underneath Kimball that they were supposed to finalize and complete that project into their little drainage basin right there. I would like to, if we could, send them a letter encouraging them to fast track that project before this next winter.
We can do that, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that, I will call for a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion, Mayor. It's Tom.
Okay, motion from Mayor Howie.
Mayor, this is Paul Rodriguez. I make a second.
Okay, and Mr. Councilman Rodriguez has the second. Angela, roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilmember Hargrove,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio, Councilmember Lucio. Thank you.
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa,
Yes. Okay, it passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is the mayor and council reports. This is the time and the place for the mayor and the council members to report on pre-scheduled council committee assignment meetings that were held since the last regular council meeting and any other items of interest. Upon request of an individual council member, the city council may choose to take action on any of the subject matters listed below. Under my comments, all of the meetings that I attended this past, was what, 6 weeks, were held via Zoom or telephonic conference calls. As I mentioned already today, I participated in Supervisor Hagman's mayor's conference call, which he informed us of the progress being made on opening businesses. Really looking forward to Friday and getting the news and hopefully the approval of the state for us to go into phase 3. I believe our businesses have earnestly tried to comply with the orders, but they need to get back to this. We're losing businesses, people need their jobs back, and our numbers have remained very, very low with the exception of the population of the prison that is having some COVID problems. But our own numbers are very, very low compared to other areas. And then on Sunday, I held I did a video, filmed a video for the National Day of Prayer for Cavalry Chapel, Chino Valley, and that will be shown during their event at noon on Thursday for National Day of Prayer. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Howie, you have item number 16, the community support contribution. Prior to you making your request in your report, I'd like to ask any members of the public that have registered for the webinar to please provide verbal testimony, who would like to provide verbal testimony on this item, to please now locate and select the raise your hand icon. Otherwise, please email staff at cityclerk@city.org. Tom, your report, please.
Oh, thank you. Just before I do that, I just want to tell everybody to keep doing what you're doing. The social distancing, and I'm proud of our residents. I think we've done a good job, but we have to keep doing that. And I'm looking forward to the businesses and shopping locally and the businesses getting back to normal. The only real meeting I had in the last couple of weeks was the Chino DeSalter Authority Finance Committee meeting. It's just amazing on how many meetings that we're not going to, or events that we're not going to at this time. But that's all I had for that. And then with the I'm asking for a community support contribution to approve amounts to the Chino Seroptimus International Chino Valley and the Rancho del Chino Rotary Club of $750 each. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Angela, do we have any written comments for this item?
no, Mayor, there are no written comments.
Yeah, do we have do we have anyone interested in speaking on this item?
No, Mayor, no one has indicated they would like to speak on this item.
Okay, Councilman Hargrove, Lucio, and Rodriguez, do you have any questions or comments on this item?
Hargrove does not. Lucio does not.
Rodriguez does not.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion in this for item number 16.
Hargrove will motion approve.
The motion from Councilman Argh and a second from Councilman Lucio. Angela, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Hargrove,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes. Item passes unanimously. Councilman Hargrove, you have item number 17. And again, prior to your report, I would like to remind the public who registered for the webinar to please push the raise your hand icon if you wish to speak. Otherwise, send an email to staff at cityclerk@cityofchino.org. Councilman Hargrove, your report on your community support contribution, please.
Okay, first of all, I apologize, boy, I got a horrible case of the hiccups, so I've had them all day. So if I kind of jump, I'm asking for support to 5 organizations in the city of Chino, $1,000 each. Chino Neighborhood House, the Hope Resource Center, Let It Be Foundation, Relay for Life, and Isaiah's Rock.
Okay, terrific. Do any council members have questions? Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
No questions.
Councilman Lucio,
No questions.
Councilman Rodriguez.
No questions.
Okay, then I would call for a motion and a second, please.
I'd like to make a motion. This is Tom.
I'd like
Okay,
to,
Tom makes,
Lucio.
and Councilman Lucio makes the second. Angela, roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Hargrove, Councilmember
Okay.
Hargrove,
Let's see, yes.
thank you. Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Councilmember Lucio, your report, please.
Only thing I have to say is I'm really looking forward to us moving forward and going into the next phases of getting back to normalcy. I'm really looking, hopefully, that we can put some sort of plan in place so that we can open up our churches. I think it's important for us to be able to go to church, especially in these times that are challenging to many people. I also want to end with just wishing all the mothers a happy Mother's Day on Sunday. Enjoy your day as best you can, and thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Councilman Rodriguez, you have item number 18. Prior to your report, again, I would like to remind the public who registered for the webinar to push the raise your hand icon if you wish to speak. Otherwise, please send an email to staff at cityclerk@cityofchino.org. Councilman Rodriguez, item number 18 is your community support contribution. Your report, please.
Yes. I've had some time, like everyone else, to think, and though we are physically distantly apart, I believe that we will reemerge more united in our humanity, and all human beings are social beings, as we know. We experience the same fears, the same hopes, and the same uncertainties. But likewise, as human beings, we have the capacity to use our minds to conquer anger, panic, and greed. As human beings, we must see things realistically and clearly without the confusion of fear or rage. If a problem has a solution, we must work to find it. If it does not, we need to not waste time thinking about it. As human beings, we have a universal responsibility to the entire world. The outbreak of the terrible COVID-19 has shown that what happens to one person can soon affect every other human being. We are all reminded that a compassionate and constructive act, whether working in hospitals or just observing social distancing, has the potential to help many. I have been praying for my family, friends, and neighbors, but now I can see that nobody is immune to this challenging crisis. Collectively, we're all worried about our loved ones and the future, and both the local, national, and international economy. Prayer is a beginning, and prayer leads us to action with compassion and mercy for others. This phenomenal crisis shows that we must all take action and commitment where we can. We must combine the courage doctors, nurses, first responders, and our neighbors are showing with bringing practical science into reality, and to turn this situation around and protect our future from more such threats. I wish all of you in the community good health and strength. Be safe, and please keep in mind the social distancing, wearing your mask, and washing your hands. it's very good news what Kurt Hagman, our supervisor, has given us. So stay at home if you have to. Be patient, think positive, and be safe. And God bless all of you. And happy Mother's Day this Sunday to all of us, to all the mothers. Thank you.
Okay, now, Paul, you have item number 18.
Now 18. Yes, I'd like to I have a recommendation for approval for community support contributions in the amount of $450 to the Hope Family Resource Center and $450 to the Ranch Life for Legends and Heroes.
Okay, any comments from council members? Mayor Pro Tem Howie?
No comment.
Okay, Councilman Hargrove?
No comment.
Councilman Lucio?
No comment.
Okay, then I would entertain a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion. This is Tom.
Okay, motion from Mayor Pro Tem Howie.
Councilman Hargrove,
There's-
second.
Okay, second from Councilman Hargrove. Angela, vote, a roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Howie,
It's a yes.
Councilmember Hargrove,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucio,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Ulloa.
Yes, item passes unanimously. Next, we have our city manager's report. Mr. Valentine?
Mayor, would you mind, this is Councilman Hargrove. I got a little break in the hiccup, so I just wanted to mention one thing that I didn't talk about. That was just that next week is the National Police Week, and I know it ends on May 15th with the Peace Officer Memorial Day. So I'm certainly one, I think our community would pray and support law enforcement and give special thanks to those that have given the ultimate sacrifice, and I just didn't want that to go without recognition. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for bringing that up. Mr. Valentine, any reports this evening?
Yes, Mayor and Council. I wanted to share a couple items. First, we received emails from concerned residents requesting council to open up the city. I want to recognize these concerns, but I also want our community to know that the executive orders are coming from the state and county health departments, not our city council. The council has not adopted any restrictions and in fact have shown great restraint in implementing greater demands upon our community. The city of Chino is eager to reopen, and we are supporting the county's efforts to get us there. Also, I want to share that most of our employees have returned to the workplace on Monday. We're in the process of making modifications to our operations and hope to open our facilities to the public in the next 2 weeks. To date, we have spent roughly $88,000 in supplies due to this emergency. 34 of that is associated with technology. We've also been tracking staff time allocated to the pandemic, which amounts to about $336,000. The Red Cross is looking for help, especially during this crisis. I know roughly 25 to 28% of their blood donations come from school districts, and since they're closed, they're in need of help. So we got a call from the Pomona chapter of the Red Cross, and they requested that we host a blood drive, and so we're going to host two. The first one actually takes place tomorrow, May 6th, and then my understanding is the majority of the appointments are full. But we're also hosting a blood drive on Wednesday, May 20th at the Neighborhood Activity Center. And folks that are interested in contributing to that can register on their website. Again, that's the Red Cross, the Pomona chapter. Finally, I want to commend our department heads for leading our staff for the last 7 weeks during this COVID event. The department heads have been working nonstop from their offices to maintain our essential services while combating uncertainty and fear that was created by this virus. The department heads have served us and continue to serve us well, and I just wanted to acknowledge their efforts. That concludes my report. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Matt. The information on the Red Cross, will it also be on our website?
We can certainly post it on social media.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yep.
City Attorney Galante.
Mayor, could I ask Matt a question real quick?
Absolutely.
I hate to blindside you, Matt, but I'm kind of curious where we're at with the census. You know, you guys were posting pretty good reports and we were getting up there in the 50, 60% maybe. But do you have any idea where we're at now?
I don't. Vivian, our deputy city manager, has been kind of monitoring that.
Yeah.
Certainly at the next at our next council meeting, which on May 19th, I'll provide you with an update on that.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Good question. Yep. Thank you.
When is the final date for the census? Does anyone know?
I don't. I know that they delayed some of it because of this whole COVID scenario, but I will get. I'll provide an update on the date and our percent of participation. So I'll provide that at our next meeting. Thank you.
City Attorney Galante.
Good evening. I just wanted to commend everybody involved with operating these meetings. I know the Brown Act rules have been relaxed, but this has been a really great effort at providing public access. So I wanted to just make that comment. And that's about it. I will continue to work with your staff on addressing any state or county orders, including orders concerning any phased reopening of facilities. And with that, that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Fred. Chief Simmons, report this evening.
Yes, Mayor, thank you very much. I would like to thank Councilmember Hargrove for acknowledging National Police Week next week. And the county will be doing a virtual county memorial this year. Obviously, due to the COVID restrictions, we're not able to do a memorial in public. So they are going to be hosting a virtual one, which should come out hopefully at the end of the week. So be on the lookout for that, and I'll forward that to you as well. And in conjunction with that, as a reminder, this year marks the 20th anniversary of Officer Russ Miller's tragic death. And we put out a commemorative badge to honor him and his life of service. And you'll be seeing that out in the community, as well as our personnel wear that this year, and then from every February here on out. I'd also like to share, as you approved in your consent calendar, that this month is National Mental Health Awareness Month. And we have seen an incredible spike in calls related to mental health issues in the midst of this COVID crisis. And I'd like to share with the public two resources. The county's Department of Behavioral Health has a 24/7 phone number where people can get assistance for themselves or their family members. And that number is 888-743-1478. Or they can go to the county website at sbcounty.gov/DBH. That's for the Department of Behavioral Health. If they need assistance or they need assistance for their family members in the midst of this crisis, that's a great resource for them. Finally, the last thing I'd like to add is our personnel are out on patrol in full force for commuters who are traveling through our city. Just to remind them, if they're violating the law, if they're speeding or running red lights, stop signs, our people are out there and they are writing tickets in the midst of this crisis. We're also actively taking people who victimize our community to jail if that occurs. So there is no moratorium on police enforcement. We are enforcing it. I would say most of the public is doing a great job, and our crime is generally down, but there are a few people who are taking advantage of this situation, and we're out there and we will catch them. That's all I have to report, and I'm available if you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Chief. Our department does.
Mayor, this is
yes,
Matt.
sir. Yes,
this is Matt. I just got the information as it relates to the census, and that's so far 63% of our folks in our community have participated in the census, which is great. That's a great number. And then the final date to submit your census questionnaire is October 31st, or to complete that online. So it's October 31st is the deadline. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Again, Chief, the department's doing a fantastic job. I know we've had an uptick in crime in our neighborhood, and the guys and gals are just on it. It's very, very impressive. I'm very proud of what they're doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Fire Chief Shackleford.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just two items for you this evening. I'm pleased to share with you that on May 11th, we will have 4 new firefighter paramedics starting employment with the fire district, and they are eager to get to work. And also, I want to let the public know that the weed abatement deadline has been extended this year due to the pandemic, but it is May 27th. So please take advantage of the time that you're home now, clear the weeds from your property. And if they have any questions or receive a notice from us that they have any concerns about or are unclear of what they need to do, they can contact us at 909-902-5260, and our staff from Community Risk Reduction will be happy to assist them. That concludes my report for this evening, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Tim. Before we adjourn, I'd like to ask if council members have any other further comments they'd like to make. Mayor Pro Tem Howie?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Councilman Hargrove?
I just want to say thank you to the mayor yourself and for the video messaging and the social media that you've been putting out. You know, before all this all started, I saw a lot of comments like, you know, where's our city government in this? And I haven't seen any of that since it's been like, seems like a weekly basis you've been putting out a video. And I know that's behind the scenes, all the personnel that are taking care of that. And I appreciate that. And I think it's just been some great messages you put out there. So thank you for that.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Councilman Lucio?
I have no comments.
Councilman Rodriguez?
No comments.
Okay, I just want to say that I have read some incredible stories of acts of kindness and compassion during these difficult times. I just ask that we continue to be kind to others. We don't know what other family members are going through sometimes, or our neighbors. Watch out for your neighbors. We've done things like, you know, if we're going to go to the store, we call around, see if anybody needs anything, we can pick up something for them. And just, if you don't see someone out every couple of days, check on them, give them a call and see if they're okay. I think out of every catastrophe, there seems to be something good that comes out of it. And I think the good coming out of this horrible situation is the compassion that we're seeing and how families are actually being reunited. I think it's encouraging that we have to look inward now to make sure we're all okay, and in some cases learn to live together again. And with that, we will adjourn to our next regular meeting, which will be held on Tuesday, May 19th, 2020 at 7 p.m., closed session at 6 if necessary, with a location and format to be determined in light of the Executive Order N29-20 issued on March 17th, 2020. Please visit the city's website at www.cityofchino.org for all city council meeting and COVID-19 updates. And we pray that everyone stays safe, and we will hopefully see you in person on the 19th. With that, we are adjourned.